1, 2, 3, clap.
See, that's much better. Yeah, it's not my best clap, but it's still better than clap.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Hi, and welcome to Hey Buddy Night Podcast.
Nick
Over
can do
there in
whatever he
Scotland,
wants.
holding and cuddling a three-headed creature named a Hydra. That's Brogan Hastings.
And over there sitting with Ratty the skeleton opossum, it's Wayne Giovinazzi.
Opossum. The way you said it. Is it me? Am I wrong again in my pronunciation saying opossum? Or is it opossum or opossum?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you clearly said opossum.
Opossum, yeah.
Yeah, opossum. That sounds like you're saying possum.
I don't think I've ever heard people pronounce it before, so that's just how it's always sounded in my head.
There we go. Yeah, I think opossum. I make the big distinction of opossum, so
yes.
you know it's not a possum, because a possum in Australia is very different to an opossum.
Why is there? Why is there a difference? Why is there a creature named a possum?
It's a different animal.
But why is there a creature named possum, and why is there a creature named opossum?
Look, it's the naming convention that is wrong.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Oh, I'm not having a go at you. Please don't think I'm mad at you.
I know. No. I thought, look,
I'm
not
mad at
saying,
you for
don't be
different
mad
things.
Don't be mad at the animals is what I was concerned about. So
I'm not mad at the animals.
Yeah,
and I would like to clarify, because I feel like you're in the same category as me, I'm not mad at you.
Okay. I am also not mad at you. Is that what you were looking for?
I don't know, because sometimes I do get paranoid that sometimes, like, if you take long, even if I know that you're like asleep, if you take longer than a certain amount of time to reply, I'm like, Wayne hates me. It's fine.
Oh, okay. No, never.
I just assume that everybody lives on Hates Me Island.
Anyway, I forgot, this isn't bonus content, this is real episode. And you know what? It's time for Hobo Johnson Watch 2023. I'm shutting up the music already because I can't be bothered with it and I don't want to listen to it in my head. Because we're not doing great. We just need to get through this episode, I think.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. You're better than last week though, yeah?
A little bit, yeah. I'm in less pain.
Yay.
Still in pain, which is annoying. But yes, I'm taking.
And you can get the details about all our pain and issues in the bonus content by going to patreon.com/nicepodbud.
Yes, you can.
Well, not all the details. You can get all the details you need.
A good majority of details. TMI details. Maybe not quite, actually.
Timmy details. But where were we? That's right, it's Hobo Johnson Watch. It's not really called, it's not really considered Hobo Johnson Watch anymore either. It's, we need,
Hobo Johnson scene.
Yeah, I need some...
Hobo Johnson watched.
Some sort of... He watched. That's right, it's Hobo Johnson Watched 2023. Coming to you with all the updates of the Hobo Johnson. Will Hobo Johnson do a shoey tour? It's actually not, the official tour is not called that, I learned. It's not called that at all. I've cut the music off again. It's called, I don't know, And the Boys Are Back. Hobo Johnson and the Boys Are Back, or something like that. With an asterisk next to the boys are back, because two of the band members have left and gone to other bands. But it's got, like, fine print saying, which is fine, we're still friends, and they're still invited to Christmas and Friendsgiving over at Derek's house. You took your headphone off. You took your can off. Is there a ghost?
There was a loud bang, and I wasn't sure what it was.
So yeah, Hobo Johnson Watched, and a 3-day, 2.5-day Sydney adventure. So we're going to do this Brogan Hastings style. Ooh. We're going to start from the top, work our way down. So. It was a crisp autumn day. Autumn? I don't know. Yeah, crisp autumn day in 1985 when Wayne was born.
Okay, skip to the 90s!
Oh, okay, right.
Actually, no, that's a nanny reference, and that was just for me.
Oh.
No, skip.
It was, because I was trying to think. Skip to Tuesday?
Yeah, skip to Tuesday.
This past Tuesday? Okay, I can do that.
Skip to the end.
Right. All right. Look at you yelling at me in your sing-song voice.
This is the closest I'm going to try and get. I'm going to try and not sing this episode. I don't want to.
I'm referring to your accent as being a sing-song voice.
Oh.
Because I was playing Red Dead Redemption and you meet a character named Irish, and of course I only refer to them as Brogan. And the first time that John Marston meets them, because they're speaking in an Irish accent, John Marston, he's going off at them. It's like, "Are you talking to me with your sing-song voice?" I'm like, I have to say that to Brogan next time.
Pulling some fucking Jacob the Audio Guy shit with me. How dare you?
No. I think your accent is fine to be called a sing-song voice. It's not like an Australian accent.
Australia.
God, speaking of Australian accents, I was messing around with voice mod technology, and there was one that makes you sound like the "in a world" kind of guy voice, right? But it's all AI, so it recognizes what you say, and then I don't know, like Google speaks it back to you. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But when I said the word "no," I was like, "Oh God, I do say it like that." And then, I did.
No.
It was so bad. I was like, no. Anyway.
No.
So yeah, I didn't sleep leading up to the flight, right? Mm-hmm. It was like a 10:55 at night flight, and with the idea of it arriving in Sydney at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Because of the time difference. So it wasn't like it was like a 4-hour flight, 3 hour, 55 minutes, something like that. Because we had awesome tailwinds.
Yeah.
What is a type of human being that you don't want sitting in front of you on an airplane?
Someone with long hair who flicks it back right over your chair.
Think smaller, much smaller.
A toddler?
Even
child.
smaller than that.
A baby?
Smallest you can get. A fucking baby.
A fetus?
That's right. No way. No. A fetus would have been better, because then it would have been inside their fucking body. But it wasn't a baby. It was 2 babies.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. 2 babies.
On their first
They
flight,
cried
probably.
a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. They were going to New Zealand. Bless them. Get the fuck out of Australia. But the babies were all right. They weren't the worst. They didn't like the takeoff. They didn't like the landing. In between, they were all right. They weren't really crying or nothing. The parents were more annoying than the babies, if I'm going to be blatantly honest.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. I mean, I don't blame them for that, because regular adult people don't like landings and takeoffs.
Yeah.
And you know what? At that age, they can't clap when the plane lands. So
Good.
That's a point
People
in their
shouldn't-
favour.
Yeah, okay, good. I thought you were saying they can't clap. How dare they?
No, that's a point in their
Yeah.
favour. That makes them less annoying.
Yes. Okay, look, for the record, nobody clapped either on the way there or way back from Sydney. So
Good.
it was a clap-free landing zone.
Good.
But the babies, there was the guy sitting across from me. I was on the aisle. The guy across from me was worse than the fucking babies, because I was like leaning forward, head on the tray table down, trying to get any form of sleep. I started to fall asleep. This motherfucker gets up out of his chair, turns the flashlight on his phone, looking around on the ground, banging around. It's like, motherfucker, please, did you not hear the announcement? If you drop something, don't go crawling around on the ground for it. You may get hurt. Notify one of our staff and we will help find it for you. It's like, you son of a bitch. You got this flashlight. The cabin lights are not down. They're off because people want to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, no. Other than that, flights were fine.
That's all
Flights
right.
were fine. There was no one sitting next to me on the way there. It was good. There was person on the window, nobody there in the middle, even though it said someone was going to be sitting next to me. So either someone missed their flight or they upgraded to business. More power to them. I say, I hope they missed their flight.
You're such a bitter little man.
Sure. Just like my coffee? What?
You're a sad, strange little man, and I pity you.
But yeah, landed in Sydney about 6 a.m. I'm like, I should see how much it costs to get an Uber to the fine hotel. I say fine. I mean that as in, yes, it was fine. Not like fine, like a fine dining experience.
On a scale...
It was a fine hotel.
On a scale from... I'm trying to think. Where was it that Job
They have a
and Sydney were
scale.
staying? When we went to see them.
The Venetian.
The Venetian. On a
Or the
scale of the
Palazzo.
Venetian to Days Inn, where did this land?
Higher than the Rio. No.
Oh, Rio, my
It was
beloved.
a service apartment, basically. We have to talk about the Rio. I'll write that down, but probably not this episode. But yeah, it's a nice service department, clean, not damaged. No, look, the rating scale was 3.5 stars.
That's not bad.
That's fine. Yeah, it's all good. And it was only 5 minutes walk to the venue of the concert. It was perfect.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's as someone who has been that close to a venue. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not just 5 minutes walk to the Metro Theatre. Mm-hmm. It is the next street, the street around the corner, is what I like to refer to as Massage Alley.
Oh no! It's not one of those where it's like behind the place where we went, the Irish pub. Behind. Look, I'm using a lot of description here. It's not, but look, you know what I mean.
I know. Brothels are illegal in Sydney, right? Yeah. So I don't know why they have to pass themselves off as a massage parlour.
Because massage parlours are not illegal.
Probably because they are legal.
They
you
are
legally
legal.
allowed to run and operate a brothel. Yes.
Wow.
Correct. They are A-OK in the eyes of the law. But maybe it's cheaper to run a massage
maybe it's
parlor
tax
than it
purposes.
is.
Maybe it's tax evasion. Maybe it's anti-money laundering.
Get on it, Brogan. Get on it. We need some anti-money laundering music. I'll look for that next time. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yeah, that's how I was staying in World Square. It's an alright place. It's basically Chinatown-ish. Mm-hmm. I guess as well, but like minutes walk from Sydney Central.
Yeah,
and so it's an alright place. Problem being is, so I've gotten there at 6 a.m. and I'm trying to get an Uber. I'm looking up how much it would cost an Uber to get there, and it's like $50 to $60.
Wow,
and it's a 20-minute trip. Not worth it.
No.
They have a train station inside the airport. I was aware of, but I didn't know how easy it was to catch the train to anywhere.
Wow.
And I haven't done any research on this. I don't know what train line I'm meant to get on. I just winged it. I just looked at some signs and it said, yep, take this line and it will take you wherever, it will take you down this way. And I opened my Google Maps at the same time. So as the train was going along, as I was close to the hotel, I was like, I'm just going to get off at this station because I can walk 5 minutes from it. So it worked out perfect. I was like $20.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That makes you better than me.
$20-something.
That makes you better than me and that kind of thing, because when I was in London, I was like, London has excellent underground, facility, like with their, trains and whatever. I still took an Uber everywhere. Because the problem was there were so many lines, I got intimidated. And despite the fact that literally over the road from the hotel was the train station, it was incredibly intimidating. I think there was only two places that I could actually not have taken a train to, one of which being the Doctor Who shop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a bit of a trek, though, anyway, wasn't it?
That was out the way.
Yeah. Trek.
Yeah.
Well, it's like in Disneyland this year. We were like a 10-minute walk, really, from Disneyland. We walked one time and caught fucking Ubers there and back every other time because it was like $6. So why not? So I catch my train and I got off at the museum station and walked for like 5 minutes. Again, Google Maps, because I have no idea where I am, where I'm going. Because I don't think I've actually been in central Sydney before.
Wow.
So, I've been like around and down near Circular Quay and that, which is central, I guess, still. Yeah. But anyway, I get there and it's like 6:45, 7 o'clock at the hotel. No one at the desk. Now, there is meant to be someone at the desk at this hour. They also have 24-hour contactable service. So I'm sitting there for like 45 minutes. A couple of people leave the building. Some other guy eventually walks in. And he's swiping his swipe card at the door to get in, to go behind the desk. And it's not working. It's just yelling at him. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. So he's like shouting out to Lillian. Like, Lillian apparently is meant to be operating the desk.
Yeah.
Nothing. No answer. He tries calling Lillian. It just calls the front fucking desk. It's like, she's not at the front desk, dude. Try calling her personal phone. Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then a couple of minutes later, another person walks in and they're like, what are you doing out here? Where's Lillian? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, well, try swiping your card. It doesn't work. Well, I'll swipe mine. Doesn't work. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. But I'm going to call Lillian. Calls Lillian. Lillian answers. Oh, this is, of course, they tried calling the front desk again first.
Yeah.
Fuck knows why. From what I could gather, Lillian was not there when Lillian was meant to be there. Now, I'm using the name Lillian. I don't know for fact that Lillian was their name. All I remember is that it did begin with an L. That's all I recall.
Now, you were texting me during all this.
Oh, was I?
You were. Do you not remember this?
No.
Oh, yeah. No, this is why I'm grinning. That was just the start
of my sleep deprivation, Brogan.
This is why I'm grinning, because I know about half of this story. Because we're... Lindsay! It was Lindsay.
Lindsay! Okay, we're using her name. It was Lindsay. Calling you out, Lindsay.
Because you said... Bloody Lindsay, and I said, fuck's sake, Lindsay, get your shit together.
Yeah,
and you said maybe she died.
Together.
Poor excuse, Lindsay.
Yeah, poor excuse, Lindsay. We all die. Fucking
Dead.
hell.
That's just another word for lazy.
Exactly. And anyway, the first guy that came in, he's like, I'm just going to jump the fucking desk. I don't care. Mm-hmm. So he did. This is an old guy as well. He just jumps over the desk, opens the door. Him and her sit down at the desk, and like none of them have even acknowledged me. Mm-hmm. And they work there.
Yeah.
And haven't like been like, oh, are you waiting to check in, sir?
No, they're too busy worrying about Lindsay.
They didn't care about Lindsay. They cared about only themselves.
Yeah. Worrying that Lindsay wouldn't show up for punishment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I assume it was the end of Lindsay's shift. Maybe she was on the shitter. Maybe she was dead on the shitter. Maybe it was the ghost of Lindsay dead on the shitter speaking to this person on the phone.
Lindsay has a right to poop on company time.
Yes. It's not a privilege. It is a right.
It's a right.
Yes. If it wasn't in like a public facility, pooping on company time, it would be half of my day. But see, someone like you, Brogan, working at home most of the time, working from home, pooping on company time is great for you.
Oh, it's great.
I assume. I don't really know your pooping condition.
No, I don't think it's what the cheese bags want to hear. I mean,
I'm not saying it is. I'm just informing you and the cheese bags that I don't know. And I'm happy for it to stay that way, for everyone's sake.
Let's just say that we all agree that, people should poop on company time.
Yes. If you're not pooping on company time, you're not living your best life.
You're not.
That's all it is.
You're throwing money down the toilet.
Yeah.
That was an accident. I didn't mean to. I was totally where I said that.
Well,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, and if you don't, you might have an accident. Yeah. That's the end of that toilet humor. Flush. So, yeah, I talked to the chick at the desk, and she's like, can I help you? Like, she's obviously hating her life and her day already. It's like, yeah,
don't blame her.
I'm staying here today. I'm staying here to I'm checking in today. It's like, well, you can't check in yet. It's like, I'm aware of that. You're aware of that. Mm-hmm. I know. Like, if I can't check in right now, do advise me when the check-in time is. 2:00. And I'm like, yes, 2:00. I'm well aware of that. But I don't want to check in right now. You've given correspondence that you're happy to hold my bag until 2:00.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, okay. So she puts one of those like loopy things on the bag, gives me a ticket, puts it out the back. I kept my backpack on me, right? Because I'm going from like 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. now. Just me and my backpack. Just exploring the fucking city. That's all that I had to do.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the first thing I do? I've just gotten off a plane. I've just dropped off my shit to somewhere so I don't have to carry it around with me everywhere. It's morning. I'm awake. What's the first thing I do?
I mean, you're Wayne, and I've known you long enough to think that the first thing that you do is you look for a coffee.
That is spot on the money. And you've just said that I am Wayne, and that reminded me of something. I got a notification from... I think it was on Facebook. It just says, you're acting as Wayne Giovinazzi. And I'm like, believe it or not, I am Wayne Giovinazzi.
It's all an act.
Yeah, that's it. It's all fallacy. But clearly I'm Wayne Giovinazzi because that guy reached out to me about the Pip book.
Well, exactly.
Bonus content. Yeah. So in line at Starbucks. And Starbucks, we've already realized there are differences to Australian Starbucks to the US Starbucks.
Yeah.
For one, we don't do iced flat whites, but that's okay. I was going to have just a straight up flat white, hot. All right. They have multiple coffee options in America, different roast options.
Yeah.
Here, there's 2 or 3 if you include decaf. But the person in front of me orders their whatever their coffee is, and then they're asked, do you want the dark roast or the light roast? And they're like, I'll have actually, what's the difference between them? And the counter guy is like, well, I mean, like the light one is kind of like more light in tasting, and couldn't work out what to say. So this is direct from Matt Donnelly. I interrupt and I say, the dark one tastes more campfirey.
See?
and she goes, I'll have the dark roast. So, yeah.
Matt Donnelly saving lives.
I never knew I'd get the chance to use the line campfirey for describing a Starbucks roast, but it made me happy. And in America, Starbucks Wi-Fi is free, right? You can just connect to their Wi-Fi, do whatever you want for however long you want. I ordered my flat white, dark roast, more campfirey. Wasn't very nice. But I wanted to use the Wi-Fi, so I tried to connect onto it, and it says, cool, you've connected onto Wi-Fi. If you've purchased a coffee, ask your barista for a Wi-Fi password for a half-hour access to the Wi-Fi. I'm like, excuse me? What the fuck is this? The Wi-Fi is there to encourage people to go to the cafe of Starbucks. All right?
Yeah.
So, fuck it. I didn't bother. I just used my phone. I used my own data plan. I even hotspotted the iPad to it so I could, draw and shit on whiteboard, which I didn't know needed to be connected to the internet to use. But, yeah, fuck their shit. So I did a whole bunch of drawing. I spent about an hour and a half in Starbucks, right? And I didn't end up using whiteboard because it kept on timing out. So I used Procreate. And I drew I was like, I'm just going to fill the canvas with all this random shit. Yeah. And I think I even posted it on Twitter afterwards and said, hang on, profile. A bunch of random doodling on the plane and at Starbucks. Feel free to use any of these as your next tattoo. Except for the judging kitty, because I do like that judging kitty. Have you seen this
I have a
collage of shit?
Big recollection of seeing it when I was
I'll share my screen.
Yeah,
I'll share my screen.
Show me.
There you go.
I like judging kitty.
Yeah. Judging kitty's good. See, I always start off with this weird bulbous pustule type thing, which is Jonah Vasquez-ish, because it's a thing that I know how to draw and it gets me started well. And then I just started drawing anything. So that's what I did. And there was people around, people on the table next to me sort of looking at me drawing, kind of interested, and then looking away, and then they fuck off. And I'm done drawing, so I close up my iPad and I'm just browsing on my phone, on Twitter or whatever. I may have even been posting this at the time. Yeah. And then I noticed that there was now new people at the table next to me. Some high school girls.
Yes.
And I heard them saying out loud, what? Fuck you in the face? Fuck all your faces? Fuck your butt faces? They were reading the Brian Brushwood quote sticker on my iPad out loud. So, fuck your genital faces. Fuck your titty faces. Fuck all your faces. You leaky nippled fuckers. Fuck you. Who is Brian Brushwood?
Do you know what? I really, really hope they Googled it after that. I hope that Great Night got some more subscribers because of that. I hope that Scam School got some more subscribers because of that. I hope that Brian Brushwood personally got more follows on Twitter because I made that sticker and gave it to you and you stuck it to your iPad and because you went to Sydney.
But these are high school girls, teenagers, 15 at best.
Josie's a teenager.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. 18, though. Isn't Josie? Yeah. But then I remembered that the Slutty Ditto sticker is on there as well. True. Yeah. They were eyeballing that. So, yeah, that was, it was hilarious, but just a little bit awkward. And then I figured I need to walk around. I got nothing else to do, so let me just say, this day, I probably did close to 30,000 steps. It was a massive day, and it's not all flat. There's uphill, downhill. I went through like Hyde Park. I went down to Circular Quay, which is where the Sydney Harbour Bridge is, and the Sydney Opera House. And I'm like, I've never been to the Sydney Opera House. I've never been up close to it. I've seen it from afar. So you know what? I'm gonna go because I was meant to see Penn and Teller there. 4 or 5 times or something?
Yeah.
I don't recall. A lot of fucking times. I got the ticket somewhere. So I was like, I'll do that just for, the sake of saying I did go here. And I did. And then fast forward to the last day when I was waiting to go catch my flight. I went to a Starbucks and drinking my drink, and I look up and the building next to me was the Capitol Theatre. The other place I was meant to see Penn and Teller like 4 or 5 times. So I inadvertently did a tour of the theatres that I was meant to see Penn and Teller in and didn't actually get to see them due to cancelled shows.
Heartbreaking.
So I thought that was interesting at least. So yeah, did that little tour. It's I don't know. I discovered that I don't like walking through Sydney. I started to recognize places. I started to remember where I am and which way to walk.
Yeah.
But it did also make me realize that in my heart, I am a New Yorker. Because these motherfuckers that don't know how to walk in a city, like, come on. I just wanted to yell at them. I wanted to throw a fucking slice of 99-cent pizza in their face and say, I'm walking here.
Yeah.
Something. Like, it's like... ugh.
Welcome to Edinburgh during the Fringe.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what it's like.
Christ.
It's horrendous.
Yeah. But even in New York, the tourists typically know how to walk or at least get out of the fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some weird signs around Sydney as well at venues. Like they had signs up saying, if you are seen drinking within 50 metres of this premises before entry or are suspected of drinking before entry, you will be denied entry to the venue. Because there's like some laws about consuming alcohol around the venues before going in. That is weird.
It makes you wonder what happened for that to be in place.
Well, yeah, there's something must. There's always a reason for a rule, I guess.
Yeah.
Or in this case, a law, because it is a law.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually first saw that at the Metro Theatre, walking past it. Not only did I walk past the Metro Theatre and brothels and massage parlours, but on the trek between the hotel and the theatre, I did pass, count 'em, 3 adult bookstores. Yes.
Fair enough.
And I don't know why they needed to be in so close proximity to each other, but like 2 of them were next door and one had another premises between them. Like, why do you need 3 different adult bookstores that close to each other?
I mean, maybe it was all the same company, and the reason that I say that is because that sounds very much like my work. The Edinburgh office is, which is so big square of buildings, and we own 3 buildings in that square.
Yeah, but it's not
one
like...
at one end, one at the other end, and one opposite.
Yeah, but would it be like one of those buildings is real estate, one of them is financial law, one of them is criminal law or something like that, or is it all just buildings?
It's really all just buildings. Ideally, we want the one building.
Yeah,
that we're all in, so we don't have to like cross the road to go and do training.
See, if it all was one company, I would have expected one of them to say like, we specialize in adult literature, and then the next one saying, we specialize in all your marital aids, and then the next one being like, we specialize in DVDs and Blu-rays, but they all like had listed the same shit, you know?
Yeah, that's not how things work.
I don't know. No, that's not how it works. I reckon they were it's the free market. They were independently owned and operated from each other. That's got to be what it was. Surely. But I started to walk down like the fancy areas where you got all like the name brand shit, the name brand stores. where you expect to find your Louis Vuittons and stuff like that. So I didn't even bother walking into them. And it definitely was a different vibe to Massage Alley.
Yeah.
But on the way back to it was like 1:45. I was like, I'll walk back to the hotel because by the time I get there, perfect time to check in. But I'm walking along down this sort of more fancy area, and I see like a small arcade. And I'm like, when I say arcade, like an alley, an arcade, right? Not like a play video games arcade.
Yeah.
This is like a shopping arcade. I'm like, this place looks extremely familiar. So I walk up to it, I'm looking in, and like, holy shit, this is where they filmed the scenes from the video clip to David Bowie's Let's Dance.
Oh, very cool.
Like, holy shit. So I walked in there, looked around. I was like, gee, that was fun for 5 minutes. I can say I've been here.
Yeah.
It's the Strand Arcade. I was like, that's cool. I mean, I did have to Google it to make sure because I wasn't just going to walk down any old shopping arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I do. I had just been doing it for hours previous. Oh, goodness. It was a lot of walking. My legs, they hurt a lot that day.
I'm not surprised.
Finally checked in, and she had no recollection of me whatsoever. She's like, can I help you? It's like, yes, I'm here to check in from our conversation this morning.
I mean, I don't blame her. She was clearly dead inside. So,
Yeah. Still pissed off at Lindsay.
Yeah.
Or whatever her name was.
still
Goddamn
pooping on
Lindsay.
the can.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. Here, blah, blah, blah. Have you stayed with us before? No. Well, this is what you got to do to check in and check out. You got to swipe your card. Well, yeah, like any fucking hotel. I understand how hotels work.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, is that all then? It's like, well, no. Remember, you've still got my luggage. So I hand her the ticket, which I'm holding in plain view. Kind of like when you go to a pub, right? You might be familiar with this a little bit because you've been to McMullen's and you've bought drinks at
Yes.
McMullen's.
Uh-huh.
Best way to get attention, either hold cash or a card in your hand so they can
Yeah.
see it and know that you want to order. I held this claim ticket in my hand in full view. Nothing. No response at all. Until I spoke up and say, just give me my fucking bag. There's shit in there that I'm going to need. I want a fresh pair of pants. So, yeah, she begrudgingly, for some reason, went out the back and got it and wheeled it out. It's just a fucking carry-on.
bag.
It's
I mean,
7
Lindsay's taking a
kilos.
nap on it. How dare you?
Yeah, fucking Lindsay. That is honestly what I thought Lindsay was doing at first that morning. Like, she might have been out the back on the... Because, like, it's like... She's not going to get people wanting to talk to her at, like, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning.
No.
Like, why would they? But then she's ignoring the phone call. Anyway, Lindsay does Lindsay. That's what she does.
You do you, boo. We support you.
Yeah, exactly. So... My plan always was to then get back to the room and sleep for a little bit. I think I slept for an hour and a half is all I managed. The thing had the room had a balcony as well, which was fine. I mean, I didn't use it. It had a balcony.
But it had it.
But the curtains, they didn't close all the way, so it
that's
just
worse.
gets bright. I basically need pitch blackness to sleep. But I probably did sleep for about an hour and a half anyway.
That's not bad.
And my plan always was to then go out and find a place to, like, spend the evening, to have dinner, have a couple of drinks, you know, a bar, a pub, something like that. And I'm looking on Google Maps, and everywhere nearby is like a restaurant, like a fancy dancy place, like... Come enjoy our fine range of cocktails while you feast on this superb steak made out of cows from the Wagyu region of France. I assume that's what a Wagyu beef is.
It's not, but we'll not go there.
I know. So it's like, fuck it. I'm gonna broaden my search range, and I ended up looking at Darlinghurst, which was only a little bit further over, still walking distance, and I pinpointed like 3 or 4 different places that I would go to, and I chose the one that was furthest away first, and then worked my way back. So I caught an Uber there because it would have been like a half an hour walk, and I'd already walked a whole bunch, and I was gonna walk back.
Yeah.
So I walked. I Ubered, and I was on George Street, which is it's LGBTQ friendly, all of it basically, the majority of it at least, which is good. I think I felt a bit more comfortable that way as well, because you're not going to accidentally stumble into a biker bar or anything. So
Lesbians
the
and
first
gays
place
can
I
have
went
biker
to-
bars too.
Yeah, I know, that's okay. If I'm going to get beat up by any bikers, I'd rather it be lesbians and gays and others.
Fair enough.
Yeah. If I'm going to get stabbed between like this rib and that rib, it's like
I would rather it be part of the gay agenda.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind.
Big gay do crimes for a reason.
I can get stabbed by any old straight guy. There's a fuck enough of them.
Exactly.
So it started off at the Dar. I can't remember what it's called. The Darlinghurst. That's basically the Darlow bar something. And it was a bit loud downstairs, and they had a rooftop bar, which seems to be all the rage in Sydney, is these rooftop bars. So I went up, and it was dead as. And I ordered a Long Island iced tea, because as is tradition, should be the first drink on a night out. And the bartender, I couldn't quite hear him because there was loud music playing. He said something to me after I'd ordered, and I was like, he was gesturing as well. Like, was he pointing at like my Bowser tattoo or my shirt or something? Like, oh, I think maybe he's trying to compliment something. So I'm like, what's that? He's like, you can pay when you're ready. But this is what we were talking about before. When you go to a bar and pub and you want to be noticed to order, you hold the cash or card in your hand. I was holding cash in my hand. I didn't want to pay electronically. I wanted to pay with cash. I'm like, is cash okay? It's like, oh, okay, I guess so. So, that would be why. It was the miscommunication. See, he put 2 glazed cherries on my Long Island iced tea. I thought maybe it's because he liked me. It was just for the miscommunication.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, well. I see you just stroking your hydra.
I know, I can't help it. He's very soft.
I've touched your hydra. Yeah.
Is it distracting? Do I need to move my hand?
No.
That's all right.
Not at all. Not at all.
Because he's very soft. He's a good boy.
This would be one of Chris's favorite comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that drink. I drank half of it upstairs and realized there's nothing. It's like not interesting. Went downstairs, finished off my drink, and I was like, I'm done here. And the next place on the list was, I forget what it's called, but I'm going to call it the Cowboy Bar, because I've been playing some Red Dead Redemption, and this place looked kind of secluded, hard to find, off the map. I literally could not find it. It is down an alley, and it doesn't have any signs saying Cowboy Bar here or whatever the fuck it's called. Literally what it is, there's a fire escape door, and it says, do not block fire escape. So I pull that door open, and there's another door that says fire escape, do not block, do not obstruct. But there's a little window on it, and I can see light, and I can hear some music. Of course, country music. So I'm like, okay, maybe this place is going to be going off a little bit. Open the door, walk in, nothing. There's like 2 other people sitting at a table. I'm like, the environment, it had that wood smell to it that you would expect. Had the animal heads on the walls, and the music was a little too country. So I'm like, no, this ain't doing it for me. This is not doing it. So I sat down for about 45 seconds maybe. I'm like, I'm bailing on this place. So I left. And then I'm like, walking down George Street, still looking on my phone for somewhere to go. And it's like, there's plenty of pubs here, but like a few of them had like, I guess sort of, not drag shows, but entertainers, right? And I'm like, maybe, like, it's like going to Misbehaves
Cabaret.
last year. Cabaret kind of stuff. Enjoyable. I find it entertaining, but I don't think I'm going to go by myself. I don't think it would be as enjoyable by myself. So I'm like, I'll keep walking. And I found I found something on Google Maps on the way home, like as in it is on the way home. and it was called the Soda Factory.
Ooh.
And it was like an American style bar, like American themed, I guess. But when I say like a soda shop theme kind of thing, like a milk bar almost.
Like a 50s diner.
And yes and no. Yes and no. No. More no.
More no.
Have you watched the latest season of Ted Lasso?
The last season, yes.
Yes. Remember when Ted goes into the American bar?
Yes.
It was very much like that.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. But only staffed by 2 people because when Tuesday night, I don't know, I lose my days. I think it was a Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday night in Sydney.
It's not
no one
busy.
wants to do anything. Yeah. So I ordered myself an old-fashioned, and the girl who took my order turns to the other guy and says, "Old-fashioned, do you think you can handle that?" It's like, "Yeah, I'd like to try making another one after that first one." I'm like, "Oh God, this is going to be a terrible drink, isn't it?"
It's either going to go very, very right or very, very wrong, depending on how he messes up the percentages.
Look, well, I ended up saying, quick thinking Wayne here, I'm only a Long Island iced tea in. Mm-hmm. I say, if it makes it easier, don't worry about the egg white in the drink. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you don't like the egg white? It's like, I could take it or leave it. By the sounds of things, I think I want to leave it.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, no worries. So basically, it's just whiskey, simple syrup, and lemon juice.
Yeah.
So easy drink for him to make. And then I ordered some popcorn chicken as well. And oh my God, this was amazing.
Oh, good.
It came with like a jalapeno dipping sauce, which was really good, and like a lime salt all over it. I wanted to go back the next day for lunch, but they didn't open at a suitable time because the next day I had a concert to go to.
Yes.
Because they do a thing called a giant chicken nugget, which I assume is like a chicken breast, like beating the shit out of it, coated in the same lime salt with the same dressing, but as a giant chicken nugget. So, but didn't get to go there. I was very sad. But again, the place was dead. The music was all right. It was very dark, which was cool. The booths were comfortable. They had like a projection of like all this like iconic stuff that you would expect. Like you had John Travolta and Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction and stuff like that. But it was a giant wall collage, and it was being projected every now and then. Something would move on it.
All right, cool.
It was kind of fancy. Bathrooms weren't great. Not at all.
But you enjoyed the food, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, the food was really good. So I would recommend the Soda Factory. But again, another one of these places where it's, I mean, at least they had signage, but the front door was just open, but it was like to a little lobby with a cash register. Yeah. Like an old school cash register, like 50s, 60s cash register, and it was painted in like a candy red. I'm like, is this like a takeaway joint or something? Have I made a mistake? And there's no one in there. And then I see another door, which is very nondescript. Again, kind of like emergency exit kind of thing. And I pull that open and it goes into the bar. It's like, what is everyone's fascination with these? Like, do they not want business? Do they not want people going into their establishment? Yeah. What is going on? Wow. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I ended up walking home after that. And on the way, I can't remember if I sent you a photo of this or not, so I'll send it to you now. I don't think I did, maybe for this reason. I saw this up in a window, and I was very excited. Because what do you think my first thought is when I see that?
Psycho Bunny.
No, it looks like pink bunny ears. I'm like, Louise!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Then I kind of realized, oh, wait, I think that's a brothel.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll post, I'll post that on the socials. But yeah, definitely a brothel. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, ended up getting home, did a drawing stream because I just wasn't tired at all. So I did a drawing stream. Big Sexy dropped by.
Oh, very cool.
Big Sexy and Ranchan was there as well. If someone else dropped in. I can't remember because I had a couple of drinks. But yeah, it was a fine drawing session at least. So that was good. I did sleep eventually.
Good.
I think I spent 6 hours in bed. I probably got about 4 hours worth of sleep, I reckon.
That's not bad.
So that was all right. I wanted to give myself enough time to be able to get up in the morning, go get a coffee, have something to eat and all that. Mm-hmm. I ended up leaving the joint at about midday, which to me, it's still like 9 a.m. because there's a 3-hour time difference between Sydney and Perth.
Yeah.
So it was pretty normal for me. So I did spend a good 20 minutes, half an hour researching where I should go to get my coffee after yesterday's terrible Starbucks.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a hot coffee. It was a bit chilly out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I talked to Chris about this, about how you find a good place to go to for a coffee or anything really. But this is my rules for doing review searching, finding a coffee, because you can't just look at the reviews. Oh, this place has got 4.8 stars. I'm going there. No, because you have to take into consideration the number of stars. If it's got 5 stars, it's suspicious already.
Yes.
You have to look at the number of stars and how many reviews there have been. Because if they've got like 4.8 and 16 reviews, a lot of that's just going to be like family and friends and like the proprietors of the establishment.
Yeah.
So I can't trust that. And then, so I'm saying it's got to be a couple of hundred reviews, 150 at least, right? Yeah. That's a good jumping off point. Mm-hmm. And then you look at around the 4.7, 4.8s. But then you also have to start reading the reviews, because if it's an establishment that sells something other than coffee, like food, they might be putting their reviews based purely on the quality of the food.
Yeah.
So you have to read and say, food was great, coffee was all right, and things like that. I've pulled my headphones out of my head, so I can't hear you anymore. So I'm going to keep talking while I also untie this knot that my headphone cable has gotten into. You're making fun of me, aren't you? It's almost in. Oh, there we go. Got it in. First go. I'll be editing this, so I'll know what you said.
I know.
Okay, fine. You could have gone to the party motor party.
I can't. Well, we know I can't do that. I'm not allowed by specific order of my mother. I'm not allowed.
Forgot about that. Yeah. So, pure happenstance, I didn't realize that the place that I ended up choosing was literally on the same alleyway as the Metro Theatre, where the Hobo Johnson show was later that night. So I walk down there, walk past, and I can see a few 3 girls, just like stand out the front. They're clearly dressed for a concert. One of them in like fishnets, with makeup on, stuff like that, That's just their look. Like, they're not just doing that for the day. It's their going out look. Yeah. I'm like, they're hanging around. Maybe they're like trying to catch a glimpse of Frank and the boys when they roll in with their gear and shit. So I drink my coffee. The hard thing was trying to find somewhere to drink the coffee.
Yeah.
Because you may not be aware of this, but Sydney is a pretty busy place.
Really?
There are people... Yeah. I didn't want to sit on any of these weird benches out in like the main walking area. I wanted to sit in like a nice park. So I went to Hyde Park, and like every single fucking bench is taken until I eventually found one to sit on, finish my coffee. Then I think I explored a little bit. I found like a games shop.
Ooh.
Like kind of place that sells Pokemon and Magic cards, but also board games. Now, they did not have You Lying Sack.
Boo.
Exactly. Boo indeed.
Now, actually, question for you. Did they have singles like they had at that card shop when we were in Vegas?
No. If they did, it would have been upstairs. I didn't go upstairs because I had a feeling upstairs was like where they had all their fold-out tables set up for people to play.
Right,
and
yeah.
I didn't want to...
you didn't want to interrupt.
No. I didn't want to offend my nostrils.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, there's that too.
Yeah,
I was trying to be polite.
Knowing the type of clientele, more smelly than the clientele at the massage parlors, I assume. I don't know. But yeah, it was a bunch more of like walking around and stuff during the day, trying to find somewhere decent to go to eat for lunch. Like I said, I wanted to go back to the soda factory, couldn't. I ended up going to a place called Betty's Burgers because I was like, I've spent an hour and a half trying to find something. Actually, before that, I lived your life. I lived your best life, Brogan.
Before we go any further, on that cliffhanger, can we do Murder Party podcast?
We can try.
You can always edit it out if you need to.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
I couldn't even say the words Murder Party podcast before.
I'll be back soon.
Yeah. Welcome to the next episode of Murder Party podcast. We're doing something a little bit different today on the Murder Party podcast. We're reading some listener mail with questions about the Murder Party murders. This first question comes from Murder Party podcast listener 86, and they write, Dear Murder Party podcast, being that you are focusing only on the Murder Party murders and the Murder Party murderer, how come very little has been mentioned about the Murder Party murder of the Murder Party podcast party murders? Well, it's like, that's a very good question. But what you fail to realise, if we tell you who the murderer is, straight from the get-go, straight off the bat, what is the point of doing a full series and having the series unfold? It's like saying, you know what? I want to know that Kaiser Soze is the bad guy at the start, right at the start of The Usual Suspects. Sorry for that spoiler. I'm sorry. It's like saying, why didn't they tell us Bruce Willis was a dead person? Why that Bruce Willis is a ghost all along at the start of The Sixth Sense? You just don't do it. You know, you have to build to these things. It just makes sense. Our next inquiry comes from Murder Party podcast fanatic 22. And Murder Party podcast fanatic 22 asks, can you tell us any more about this knife? Well, Murder Party podcast fanatic number 22, no, I can't. And it's not that I'm refusing to. I physically can't, because there's nothing more to tell. I mean, I guess I could say the knife wasn't full stainless steel. It was an alloy of some kind. But I'm not a metallurgist, as they are known. I don't know the chemical makeup, the molecules of the knife. So I can't tell you any more. But thank you for your question. And thank you, listeners of the Murder Party podcast, for your questions today. We'll bring you back to the regular show next week, where we continue to look at the Murder Party podcast murders. Sorry, that's not right. It's the Murder Party murders here on the Murder Party podcast.
The longer you spoke about coffee, the longer I was like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah. You missed a good episode. It was listener mail. They were reading listener mail. Yeah. I'm sure you'll hear it back anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I lived your best life.
Good.
And I went to a comic book store.
That is my best life. Part of my best life, anyway.
I told Chris that I was doing this, and Chris said, see you in 6 hours. I'm like, silly Chris. I spent a total of 20 minutes.
Silly Chris, Brogan and Paul aren't there.
Yeah. I say I spent 20 minutes. That included like 8-9 minute walk to the place as well. So,
yeah.
Not to mention about 5 minutes Googling on my phone if they had anything that I wanted, which they didn't.
Yeah.
So I left.
Yeah.
But they had some drawers. They had some drawers that you would have flipped to through, I'm
Love
sure.
It. Love it.
I mean, they had some cool stuff, I guess. Like, I did see some covers, and I was like, that looks cool, but the inside didn't match, and it's like,
Sometimes,
I haven't read
the
stuff that I got from America, so.
I have seen occasions where I've bought comics because of the cover artist, and framed them. But that was a few years ago.
Go.
But I do have a particular Spawn cover that I've got like displayed because it is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. So after I left there, I was like also on the prowl for food, right? Because it's lunchtime. I've had my coffee. It's probably like 2:00, so maybe 1:30. I was like, I should eat something before the show.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around, and I went down into an area where it was like a food hall because I saw up the top there was a bookstore. I was like, I'm gonna have to check this bookstore out.
Yeah.
When I realized there was food, I walk down some stairs, and the first thing I see is this big fluoro sign that just says, a neon sign that says, Orgie Boys Coffee. ORGIE Boys Coffee. I'm like, why didn't I get my coffee from here?
Yeah.
And then I realized as I continued down the stairs, there was a big pillar in front of the GE. It was Georgie Boys Coffee.
Aw.
But I'm thinking they've done this on purpose. They've placed that sign so everyone sees it like that. Mm-hmm. I didn't eat there. There's nowhere. Didn't eat there. I went to the bookstore and it was fucking huge. It's like a Japanese. What's it called? It begins with a K. It's a Japanese brand. Bookstore. No. I don't know. No, I can't remember. But gigantic. Mm. And when you first walk in, it's comics. It's all comics.
Love it.
So I'm going through all their shit as well. Mm-hmm. All their graphic novels, all their manga. No SL 7 billion needles, by the way.
I know. It's
I look every time. Yep. And then I saw some cool stuff that I'm like, nah, not what I want to buy. I don't want to lug it around anyway. And then I continued walking around and I'm like, oh, maybe this place isn't that big because they had like some children's books and that was it. And I walk out and I say, oh, there's another way to walk in. So I walk in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh my God, this is the fiction section.
Nice.
And huge. And of course, I went to the, I think it was in the crime and thriller section.
As I would expect it to be.
Yeah. It was our boy's book, Pendulette's Random.
My boy.
Hey, buddy, nice podcast.
Yeah. That's the first place I've seen in Australia.
I can't hear it.
That you didn't hear it?
No.
Because I was sharing my screen at one point. Okay.
Hang on. Audio and play it again.
Okay. Oh, I will. Don't you worry, your little head.
Hey, buddy, nice podcast.
Oh, hi, Bobby.
Yeah. But that's the first bookstore in Australia where I've seen it for sale.
Nice.
It's insane. Yeah, it's great.
Because we couldn't even find it in America.
In America, yeah, that's right. But then doing more walking around, and I'm like, holy shit, this place really is huge. Mm-hmm. Then I'm in like the film and TV section. It's like, there's some cool stuff here as well. Then there's like a photography section, and it's gigantic. Then I go to leave, I walk out, and I see another entrance. Because basically it's the whole level, half of a floor of this building.
Yeah.
And it's the art section.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, the art section. Before I venture down there, I'm just going to pull out my phone. I've already got the website up because I've searched for Johnny the Homicidal Maniac Collector's Edition hardcover. They were asking $95. Dream on. Mm-hmm. And I search for HR Giga. Yeah. Nothing comes up. I'm like, okay, I'll have a look around anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking around and they got some very nice fancy art books. And not just like artists like study books and things like that as well. So, oh yeah, there was a whole stationery section I didn't even look in. I was like, I will never leave.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, but then after I've passed the first few like bays of books, there was a Taschan, whatever it is, I can't remember, which they're the ones that print a whole bunch of art books. I'm like, well, I know there are Giga Taschan books. And lo and behold, there was a Giga book on there.
Oh,
nice.
Like,
well, I'm not buying that. It's just a small HR Giga book. I've got a bunch of Giga books. There's probably nothing new in it. So I keep on walking along and I see a book, really thick book, but only about that big.
Cool.
Right? That's going to be very annoying to Sarah.
So imagine the Game of Thrones paperback.
Okay, there you go. And I sent the photo to Chris because Chris sent me something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm very highly considering using that money to buy this. I'm looking for the picture of it that I apparently didn't take. I did. Oh, it was directly to Chris. And because it was only $45 for a Giga book. It was really good. But I couldn't look in it or anything because they're all sealed. And then there was a table of all their display books. And flipping through it, and the reason why it's so thick is that it's half of it is in English and the other half is in, I want to say, he was a Swiss artist. So probably whatever language, Swiss.
So the original that he wrote it plus the English translation.
Well, I don't believe it's a book that, I mean, it will have quotes from him and stuff. But
Oh, right, okay, so-
again, I've got Necronomicon 1 and 2. They're big, giant lithograph books, basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's probably got a lot of information I already know, and these are small. I mean, this is the size book that you would take to read. Let's put it this way: Lindsay would be reading it on company time.
Yes.
It's perfect size for that.
Okay.
But it's probably stuff I already know, and all images I've already seen. So I decided
new.
against it. Nothing new. Yeah. And I venture along even further, and then I get to the foreign language section, and I nope the fuck out of there. I was like, I've spent way too long in this bookstore. I can't do any more. And that was the second bookstore I'd been to.
Yeah.
I also went to Dimmick's bookstore the first day, which was unremarkable. Nothing to talk about there. So I ended up walking back towards the hotel, looking for something to eat, and I was like, I have to look at Google again. And then I find somewhere, and the place I chose was all the way back at the comic store. Like literally across the road from it. And it was Betty's Burgers. And it was all right. It was like a $9 burger for like their deluxe with everything on it.
That's not bad.
Oh, yeah, it was an effort, just the burger alone. And I got a peanut butter shake. And it was good, but they had a sticker on top of it that just says contains nuts. It's like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to carry that with me because I couldn't drink it after eating that burger.
Because a peanut
It doesn't have to.
Peanut is a legume.
Yes, I guess you're correct.
I do.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is because Mox is allergic to tree nuts, but he can have peanuts. Because
There you
Ben
go.
made that point. He's like, you can have peanuts.
There you
'cause
go.
They're a legume.
But yes, all right. I did want to put that sticker somewhere, but I couldn't think of somewhere to put it where it'd be funny. I mean, the obvious choice is somewhere on your person.
Yeah.
But I wanted to stick it like, you know, how people stick googly eyes on photos and stuff, but I couldn't find anywhere. So I walked back to the hotel, go past the Metro Theatre. Those girls were still there.
Oh, God.
I'm like, okay, maybe Frank and the boys haven't shown up. Maybe they haven't caught a glimpse yet. But there were also vans there unloading. So I'm like, okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I keep walking. I go back to my room. Got to freshen up for the concert, you know.
Yeah.
Got to do my hair, get my hair did because I've been wearing a hat all day. Shower, put on my fresh duds, and I realized that the ticket says, like the website, the Metro Theatre information says doors open at 8, but the ticket, the electronic ticket from Ticketek or whoever it was, says 7. So I'm like, fuck, people are going to be getting there early. I'm going to be getting there at 7. It'll be fine. I'll be all right. So I get there, and there's already a line forming, which I expected. I expected it. Get behind some people, and one of the girls...
Just to clarify,
Yep.
is your ticket standing or is it seated? So what I mean is there is it like first come first served?
It is purely standing room only.
Right. Okay. So
It's a small venue.
Yeah.
So there's like a small floorboard area. I say small. It's not a stadium or anything like that. It's not the Penn and Teller Theatre. But they do have seating sections for large shows, but it was all curtained off, so you couldn't get to it.
Right.
And there was seating available for like friends and family of the band and shit like that.
So getting there, being high up in the queue matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I get in line. Now, this is down that very alleyway where at the other end is the coffee shop. And it's not a nice alleyway. It's lined with big dumpsters. So the smell wasn't great to begin with. Where I am in line is opposite like a Korean market. So there were some smells that I'm not used to.
Yeah.
Between the garbage and the Korean market. After about a minute, one of the girls that was there at midday comes up to me and is like, "Are you here for Hobo Johnson?" I'm like, It's because I'm old, isn't it?" It's like asking me this, but I didn't know. They're like, "Oh, because we're doing numbering." I'm like, "Come on, this isn't a fucking Louis Styles show. This isn't a Louis Styles, Louis Tomlinson
No, but you're
show.
right, because
This isn't
Louis or Harry, that's happened to both.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a Louis Tomlinson. This isn't a Larry. I can't remember what
Larry
they call
adjacent show.
Yeah, it's like there's no need to be numbering for this, but Go ahead. Write on me. I don't care. It's Sharpie. I was number 63. Look, people didn't care. People weren't going to be assholes or anything like that. It's because they wanted to. They wanted barrier. That was all it was. The same reason why Kez would do it, so you can get barrier.
I suppose I don't really understand it. What happens? I know it happens, but I don't understand what it is and what happens. Wayne's taking a drink because this is going to be a long explanation.
No. It's a fan-based thing only.
Right.
Venues don't have to abide by it, and they're not going to enforce it. Basically, as people show up and line up, they number people on their hands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So let's say number 22 is like, I really got to go take a piss.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They can go off, go do their business, come back in line between 21 and 23.
Okay.
So they're not losing their spot in line, basically.
Yeah.
It's more important for people who are going to these shows like Kez does, because people line up there for days sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but the venue could be like, what? No, we're not enforcing this shit. We don't give a fuck.
So if number 22 goes for, it's Lindsay. If number 22 is Lindsay, and number 23 is the guy at the counter, and he's like, "No, Lindsay, get to fuck." The venue won't enforce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lindsay could say to the security at the venue, they won't let me back in line. It's like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? You've got a number on the back of your hand. And I was thinking, right, number 81 could just hold their hand upside down and become 18.
Exactly. Exactly. Just wait till 18 goes for a pee, wait a couple of minutes till the person forgot what they looked like. But I suppose, do you know what? That kind of... I wasn't kind of in favour of it until you mentioned the fact that they could go for a pee in the middle. I was like, actually, you know what? That makes it better, because certainly when I was at Penn and Teller, and it didn't matter where you were in line. I just didn't like to be at the back. I wanted to be inside because I wanted to take a seat.
Exactly.
But the amount of times
listen to the pre-recorded pre-show jazz.
Exactly. Keep an eye out for my buddy Glenn Ally, all that kind of thing. But there was a couple of nights where I was like, I really want to go around the corner and grab a drink or get a burger or something like that, but I am stuck in line. Yeah. And certainly one of the nights where it was poured, like the last night, it was absolutely pissing with rain.
Yeah. For some of these concerts and shows, it's more than just that as well. Like Kez and that, they're like, if they're there for like a day and a half, they're like, well, we want to leave the line so we can get ready for the show and then come back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, to put it into perspective, I was number 63. Got in the venue. I stood at the merch table for 15 minutes, maybe talking to Kez if what merch there was and if she wanted anything, what she would want. Then I walked into the actual venue where the show would be, and I was like 4 people back. I was 4 people deep. So it's fine. It's like they wanted barrier. It was important to them. They did it. That's what they got.
Yeah.
But while standing in line, I was subjected to some of the most fucking mind-numbing talk I have ever heard in my goddamn life. I've taken notes. I have samples of what these people were saying. The first thing was, I wrote this down because at first I thought, okay, that's a weird thing to proclaim while standing in line.
Yeah.
So this is things overheard in line at Hobo Johnson. She proclaimed, I have a massive clitoris, by the way. It's like, what the fuck? Who are you saying this to, for starters?
Like, was she with anybody? Was she in conversation, or did she just say it out loud?
I don't know. I didn't turn around to find out. It's very much like being in a Grand Theft Auto game where the pedestrians just say all this random shit. Another person. I just want to be hot and scary.
Valid.
Okay.
Very valid.
And another one. I want muscles that don't show up until I flex. Okay. Fine. Whatever.
You don't want I get that. Take them by surprise. You want to look skinny, and then somebody messes with you. You flex, and they're like, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
We've got. I hate 30-year-olds who have just come out. I can't deal with them anymore. Okay.
Just come out of the house? Just come out as in the
Come
gay
out
sense?
as
just...
part of the community, yes.
Yeah.
Part of the gay community. This very same person made it very abundantly clear they were a lesbian about almost everything they were talking about as well.
Just one of these, in every conversation, I will pepper in the fact that I am gay.
Yeah, like, also there with her gay friend as well, gay male friend, based purely on visual inspection, fully clothed.
Yep. We're assuming gender here, and we apologise for that.
Yeah, yes, we are assuming gender. But I know she was a she.
She is
saying
she,
she's
her.
a lesbian. Her, yep. Constantly talking about her ex as well. So that kind of mind-numbing shit, which I couldn't write anything down. She's the one that said that about the 30-year-olds who have just come out. But then she also proceeded to say, I don't get along with many people because I'm kind of annoying. It's like, you don't say.
At least you're self-aware.
Yeah. And as previously mentioned, this alleyway adorned with giant dumpsters. And,
Into the dumpster you go.
yeah, well, no. I heard someone in the line behind me go, was that just a rat? And then someone else goes, welcome to Sydney.
So not quite as good as the line talk at Penn and Teller where I had that conversation with the women.
No,
that
that's right.
Specifically told me the chances of being stabbed by Teller are medium at best.
Yeah, at best, yeah. This was a good one. This was in the venue, waiting around. There was a lot of standing around for an hour at a time, because it was standing around in line to get in, standing around for an hour before the opening act, and standing around an hour before Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers hit the stage. So this is the hour before the opening act. And I only wrote one thing down, because that's all I could really hear. I wasn't paying attention to much of anyone else. It's just this guy with his girlfriend, and the guy, they're younger, maybe early 20s. And he just starts literally just naming the instruments that are on stage.
Oh,
he goes,
God.
that's a guitar. And there's look at the drums.
Aww.
And there's one, two, there's three microphones up there. Hang on.
Bless his heart.
Hang on. No, there's way more than three. There's like five or six of them. And there's a bass guitar back there as well.
Oh, what a sweet scone.
Oh my god, dude.
This guy's clearly never been to a concert before, and
yeah.
bless his
and
heart.
He didn't appear to be on the spectrum at all, but maybe he was.
I mean,
And that's
sometimes you
just
can't
something.
tell.
Yeah, that's right. Now, the opening act, not exactly he had one song that I was like, okay, I could listen to this, but it was all a little bit slow for me.
Yeah.
One guy with a guitar, which the guy standing next to me was like, oh, that's the guitar. That's the guitar that was on stage.
I love
That's a
him.
nice guitar. It's a nice guitar. And then his girlfriend's like, yeah, it is. That is a nice guitar.
Oh, yeah. Like
Do you know
guitar
guitars, sir? It sounds like that you're not too familiar with instruments as it is. So how do you know it's a nice guitar?
Was it shiny? Maybe he was just like saying it's pretty.
Yes, the pick guard was shiny. It was. Chromium kind of thing. Now, the guy, he comes out to a big applause. So it's just him, his guitar, and his looping as well. So he can get multiple layers of music going. And the first thing he says is, this is crazy for me. Like, because like it's a big crowd, really, in a small venue. Yeah. Like, this is insane for me. Just to let you know how insane this is for me, my next gig is at someone's house. So he's not at all familiar with playing a venue. Yeah. As far as I can tell.
Aww.
And it turns out the chick standing next to me actually knows this guy, but didn't know that he was the opening act. His name is Jack R. Riley. And he's a funny guy. He's 37, 38 years old. So I was like, all right, my age, I hopefully going to appreciate some of the shit he has to say. And he opens up by saying that to begin with. And I'm like, that's making me feel a little bit emotionally-ish, I guess. Because it's like, it's not often that people are like gonna get to realize their dreams and things like that. it makes me kind of think like, well, I've accomplished more than I thought I would have with comics and shit so far. Mm-hmm. So it's like a little bit of a connection kind of being felt there on that level.
Yeah.
And then they play some music, and I was like, I'm not really that interested. Whatever the second song was, it was like the lyrics were definitely more interesting. Mm-hmm. I can't remember any of them now. I'll look him up later.
Yeah.
Then it gets to his third song, and he says, as he's like messing around with his gear, setting up the loops and that, it's all kind of a bit quiet, and he goes, has anyone ever seen a movie? And it's like, that's funny. It was just like making small talk. But then I realized it was for him setting up the next song, because it was about the movie Clerks.
Oh.
And I'm glad that this interaction happened, because when he said the movie Clerks, one guy at the back goes, yeah! And it's like, what are you doing here, buddy? You're a bit fucking old for this show, aren't you? It's like, what? 37? Get out of here. And then I looked around and I realized I was not the oldest person there.
Nice.
There was at least a father accompanying their freshly, I assumed, turned 18-year-old child, because they were probably their first concert or something, because it's an 18 over event. So it's like, I'm not the oldest person here. That's great. Perfect. Then the next song, he says, his next song is a cover. It's by Hobo Johnson. And I thought that was the funniest thing to ever fucking say.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? And then he should have just like started playing like the first couple of notes to one of the songs. That would have been hilarious. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. He starts his looping going. And from the first track he was laying down, it was like a do, do, do. And like, I know this.
Yeah.
I know it. And I'm not saying, oh, what is this? I know it. I knew straight away what it was. And I'm like, I'm laughing in my head.
Yeah.
And he lays a few more. He starts singing. It was the theme to the television show House.
Which for anybody who does, it's a genuine song. And
it's a song. It's a song.
It's good. I haven't heard that song in a long time.
Yeah. But I thought it was just really funny that's what he played. Mm-hmm. And then after, when he finished his set, is like, before I go, I have to take a photo of this, because I'm a preschool teacher, and if I don't get a selfie with the whole crowd behind me, it's like the kids aren't going to believe that this actually happened.
Yeah, good for him.
So yeah, good. So I'm in his photo somewhere on Instagram. I think I was just standing there. I wasn't throwing a peace sign or anything. I wasn't up yours,
standing
buddy,
there
up yours.
looking miserable, as you do in almost all
Not
photos.
Not at all. I like this guy.
It doesn't matter if you like people or not. You stand there looking miserable.
Hey, I will tell you a little secret. I am in a city where nobody knows me, right? People don't know me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not the kind of person who, like, sings at a concert or anything like that. But I'm like, I know all the words to these Hobo Johnson songs. No one here knows who I am. I can sing if I want to. I can leave my friends behind. What are you looking at?
I'm actually looking at his Instagram right now. I'm looking.
Jack R. Riley's, yeah.
Yeah, 3 days ago. I'm trying to find you. I can't.
Oh, okay. See the chick right in the middle? She's wearing red. She's the one that was there from the beginning of the day.
Right, okay.
Right, middle. So if you look to the right of her, 3, 4, 5 people back, you might see my head a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I see you.
Yeah, there you go. I might be smiling even.
It's too hard to tell. It's genuinely too hard to tell. The vibe is miserable.
Yeah. So, I had a very enjoyable time at the concert.
I'm glad.
I even, without knowing, I knew what the first song was going to be. And like throughout the whole day, I had that song stuck in my head. Because it begins with no music, the first couple of words. And like, that's how you start a show. Yeah. Right? Like that. Like, and it was great. And the second song, it's like, I don't care what the second song is. Kez has asked me to record some stuff. I'm going to record it, but I've got a feeling it's going to be Subaru Crosscheck. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorite Hobo Johnson songs. Mm-hmm. And it was Subaru Crosscheck. So it was perfect timing. And they had water bottles on stage, of course, to try to drink. Obviously, that's what you do with a water bottle. he could not open it. Frank could not open the water bottle to save his life. Like, it fucked up the lid and it got stuck, went all over him, and it's like, hands the water bottle to some chick at the barricade to open for him and gives it back. And so he can drink it, and he throws it at the crowd and all this shit. I got a video of this. He throws the empty water bottle, like, he basically looks me dead in the eyes, and it lands on me. I'm like, fucking hell, man. You can see I'm holding up my phone. This is one of like 2 times I'm going to do this, buddy.
So you have the Hobo Johnson water bottle?
No. It landed on me. It was like, get off me. I don't need that. I don't need a fucking empty water bottle.
If Pendulette threw a water bottle at me, I'd be saving that shit.
I didn't need it. I don't need it.
It's not about need. I don't need any of this.
As Brogan gestures to everything behind them on the shelves. Yeah. I had a lot of this in my memory, and being that I'm working on minimal sleep and issues that are talked about in the bonus content, a lot of it's gone from my memory right now. Yeah. So I'm thinking of, like, I did know the order of songs in that. But pretty much there was only 2 songs that I would have liked played that they didn't. They only played one song off the latest album because it's a very different vibe to the first 2 albums. And this is sort of their most fun song on that album, I guess. Mm-hmm. I also don't overly know the lyrics to that particular song either. It's called Anton LaVey, and I actually heard these lyrics in the chorus for the first time properly. And it inspired me to draw something yesterday. Good. Because I was saying how at the start of the comic streams, I'll vamp for a bit and just draw something stupid. Now I'm talking about how there's like ghosts in the house or whatever. This time I drew this because the line in the song is, closing my eyes, glad that I'm dead. This heaven is weird. My Jesus is red. And like, ooh. Oh, that's what the line is. So I drew a Satan Jesus.
Nice.
But he had like one big horn coming out of the center of his head.
Unicorn Jesus.
Yeah, unicorn Jesus. I'll have to post it.
Jesus corn.
That was good. I got some in Jesus corn. Jesus corn. Yeah, Jesus corn. A Jesus. A Jesus wall. But it wasn't Jesus.
Unisus.
It wasn't actually Jesus. But as we know, I have to 1 second. Ooh. So as we know, the concert was lovingly referred to as the Will Hobo Johnson Do a Shoey Tour.
Yeah.
Right? When the actual name is Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers, the Boys Are Back Tour with the asterisk, except for James and David because they joined another band, but that's okay, we understand, we're still friends, and they are still invited to Christmas and Friendsgiving at Jordan and Katie's house. That's on the poster. I bought the poster because it had the tour dates on. None of the other merch did. Mm-hmm. So about half an hour in, plays a new song. They play a new song, but it's not really a new song. It's a song that they've played for ages, like during... They call it practice song because they play it during practice. And it could go on an album. It sounded good. So I recorded that as well. And right at the end of that song, there's the line, "This is the last song." And then there's a bit of a beat, like a bit of a pause. And he says, "that the Beatles ever wrote. But it was probably John," and whatever, irrelevant. And then the song ends, and then house lights come up a little bit, and it's like, okay, it's time for me to get serious. Can we make this lighting dramatic and like big spotlights on him and shit? And he's like, "This is a poem that I wrote." And a good poem. I didn't record this, but I should have. It's a poem about... it was dedicated to every guy in the audience because every guy there was forced to come along by their boyfriend or partner. And I realized, holy shit, I may be the only guy here there off their own back wanting to enjoy the music. So he finishes up this poem, funny, and then the chant begins. Shooey, shooey, shooey. And I've got video of this, so I could play it now, but I'm not going to, but I'll show you afterwards. And I'll post it online for people to see. And basically, he gets coaxed into doing a shooey, but 4 different people throw shoes on stage off of their feet.
Ooh.
Earlier in the concert, someone in front of me had like a plastic bag with bread in it, and they just ditched it at the stage at the end of a song, hits Frank dead in the chest, and he catches it. It's like, didn't know it was coming at him, catches it perfectly.
Nice.
When he calls for an ice cold beer, someone throws an open can at him, and he just catches it out of the air. Just
Good man.
Perfect. You right? And then he drinks it. It's like, ugh, that's the warmest beer I've ever tasted. What the fuck is this? And it's like, it's cider. Oh, it's cider. Is that the same?
I didn't ask for a cider.
Yeah. Well, he's saying, can you do a shoey with a cider? And everyone's like, no, you can't. So he gets a beer. The shoe that he chose that was thrown was a big cowboy boot. And, yep. Does the shoey, and of course the crowd cheers and is like, I mean, it's all good that you're cheering for me and you're cheering for me to fucking do it, but you never see the fucking crowd doing it. And then there's this one guy off to the side from me, I'll fucking do a shoey. Of course. It's not hard to fucking call for someone and some bogan to do a shoey.
Yeah.
And of course, the cowboy boot still got beer in it, gets thrown over the crowd, hits someone in the head. But this guy gets he uses his own shoe, does a shoey, and people say that Australia has no culture. For starters, it's been proven 1, by the shoey, and 2, by the song that starts up as this guy is doing a shoey, which is, here's a piss pot through and through. Here's a piss pot through and through. And it just, yeah. So that's your Aussie culture.
Much
and
culture.
Then,
very sophisticated.
Yes. So that's ended now. Now remember what I said about this last song the previous song that they just played, practice song, right? Someone in the audience shouts out. Keep in mind, we're only like half an hour into the show. There's only about halfway through. Person shouts out, play one more song. It's like, play one more song? Just one more song? Like, there's still fucking half an hour, 40 minutes to go.
Jesus.
It's like, dude, how much have you had to drink already? Play some more hits, enjoyable time. And there was a girl in front of me. I think it was the one with the loaf of bread that got thrown on stage. I noticed that she had, early in the night, I noticed that the earrings she had were, those foam stickers? Like characters, cut out characters. They were like those of Shrek, and they were earrings. Okay, cool. Noticed her talking about her shoes. She was wearing Crocs, right? Not the most sophisticated choice of footwear anywhere, let alone at a concert. But I do have to say, this is one of the most comfortable concerts I've ever been in. On par with Mumford & Sons in terms of being on standing room. Because I'm used to like metal shows and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So everyone just standing there, dancing a bit and that. Jumping up and down every now and then. So I guess they were suitable shoes for the event. But you know how you can get those like things that you put into like the holes?
Yes,
on the Crocs?
tags. She had Shrek ones, didn't she?
They were not. They were Shrek ears and a Shrek nose.
I fucking knew it.
They were full on fucking Shrek heads.
Fucking Shrocks, didn't she?
Then she Shrocks, yes. Then she turned around. She was wearing a shirt with a giant fucking Shrek face on it. And
baby.
I'm like, I'm thinking she's embracing this for the bit. And then I see her phone. The phone wallpaper background is also Shrek. I'm like, you know what? This isn't a bit. This is a dedicated choice. Like she legitimately in her heart likes Shrek, and I'm like, that's great, because the whole concert she'd been kind of subdued and that, and you could hear her every now and then singing, but sort of like mostly standing still. Also a larger girl as well, which is irrelevant, but it sort of feeds into that shy persona, I guess, maybe. Well, Frank says, this next song is a cover. It was fucking All-Star.
Oh, fucking hell.
Shrek girl went off her nut.
Of course she did.
It was great to see. She had the fucking time of her life.
I'm
it was
genuinely
amazing.
so happy for her.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And since after that, the rest of the show, she was like fully into it. It was like the turnaround moment for her.
Good.
That is when it solidified in my mind that this isn't an ironic thing. She legitimately just loves Shrek.
Good for her.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you walking down the street in your Penn and Teller hoodie with a Penn and Teller cap on and Penn and Teller shirt, Penn and Teller pin badge on.
I need Penn and Teller joggers and Converse or Vans. I need Penn and Teller Vans.
There should be a collab.
Yeah.
Vans cross P and T. Yeah.
Yeah. Glenn, get on that shit.
Yeah. Do one more song. That was the weirdest fucking shout I heard that night. But yeah, pretty much that was the concert. They ended on one of their bigger songs, their radio hit, which is Typical Story, which is, I think it's the right song to end on because it's a little bit of a go crazy song, leave on a high kind of thing.
Yeah.
They didn't do an encore, but people were like, one more song. And Frank comes out and he has a song that he plays himself on guitar called February 15th. And it's a very short song, but it's also like one of the most sad songs that he sings. It's like, well, you've just gone from this energy and you're bringing it down, talking about butterflies being dead in your stomach, and now there's only caterpillars in there. Basically, it's about a breakup.
Yeah,
it's like,
so it's
well,
like
that was a big turnaround.
Like, I'll fucking teach you to ask for an encore.
Yeah, no, it's a good song. I like the song, but just like, but it's not a song that gets me or anything like that. It's just an enjoyable song. I like the lyrics and turn of phrase it is using. It's like, the butterflies in my stomach have died. Now there's just lonely caterpillars.
Yeah.
So yeah. But then there was, I told you, I want a dog. And it's like, well, that one was a bit because I want a fucking dog. How dare you? Don't sing that in front of me, sir. I saw a dog today in the shopping centre in Australia. He was a happy boy. He was just sitting there on like and it was a legit service dog because this guy was in a motorized cart thing. And I looked at the dog. I smiled at the dog. The dog smiled at me. It was a staffy, so it had a big ass smile on its face.
No.
And then, go on.
I was going to say, we're over an hour and a half into this. That honestly felt like the urge to say that was Penn Sunday School right there. Yeah. That felt like such a Penn Sunday School ending. I was like, don't say it. This
will cut down to like an hour 20 anyway. And I'm basically done. Because the only other song that was kind of like, oh, son of a bitch. And it's one of my favorite songs, and I just don't know how to pronounce it. It's like in French, Crève Coeur One or something. And it's not like the lyrics get me or anything like that, but I've watched the NPR Tiny Desk concert multiple times, which is like where they sort of got their start to be known. And like you're watching that and they're singing all their like fun, stupid songs. And then he goes into that song and you just see his persona change and like this look come over his face. And the exact same look still like 5-6 years later when he plays that song comes over his face. It's like, you son of a bitch. Why are you doing that? And he got choked up trying to sing it and he fucked up the lyrics because of it. It's like, man, it's weird that it could be that far into like singing this song live
and it still affects you.
Yeah, it was weird.
Aww.
But yeah, do one more song. And then that was about it. I had KFC for dinner that night. There was a guy that walked in very clearly drunk shouting, "There's no more chicken, there's no more chicken." It's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. that was the last event of the night, and nothing else really happened. I caught a plane back to Perth. I still really haven't slept properly.
And now you're here.
Yep. That was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
I gotta go.
We're just stealing all the extras.
Yeah. I got nothing else to say.
Oh no, I can't say that.
What were you gonna say?
We're preaching fun.
Oh yeah. No, we're not. We're not preaching fun. I still don't know what we are preaching. Nothing. We don't preach.
Self-indulgence.
Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, follow us on Twitter and shit. Social medias. I'll put the videos up from the concert and the shoey and the person shouting "Do More and More" song. Yeah, and the picture of the bunny ears. I didn't really take many photos while I was out there. Oh, I did take a photo of Luna Park, right, which is on the other side of Sydney Harbour, because I had to take a photo to flip it to send to my buddy Dave. Because the first time we went there for a manager's conference, he said, Luna Park backwards is crap anal. So took a photo, flipped it, sent it to him.
Nice.
I'll post that as well. But yeah, you can also talk to us directly. If you've got any questions for Brogan, it's at 7 billion needles.
And if you've got any questions for Wayne, it's at Wayne Geo.
That's right. They could be Pith Book related, just like talked about in the bonus content. That was a legitimate question. So
Genuine
yeah.
actual question.
Genuine actual question through Facebook, surprisingly, of all places where I'm not Wayne Geo.
Exactly.
Anyway, that was my rant on my Sydney adventures. Thanks for stopping by and having a listen.
And as always, stay fresh, cheese bags.